everybody, welcome to another On the Painting Table, what I've been working on this week in the hobby of Ash. Now, you're getting this a day late again, and I'm going to explain this time why you're getting it a day late. This was a week where I did a bunch of stuff that I hadn't intended to do, but people were really excited and I wanted to help them out. So for instance, something you're going to see this on the painting table is a fleet for Halo Fleet Battles that I painted up with Owen. Owen got sent a copy of Halo Fleet Battles. He noticed that there wasn't a lot of battle reports out there for the game, and he loves spaceship games, so he got in touch with Spartan, and they were nice enough to send the co-op and him a copy of the game, which I painted up the UNSC Force for. So you'll see that on his channel really soon, and we go through and play. We actually played off camera the missions. One of the things we were going to do is we're going to play through Fall Reach campaign, which is like a booklet campaign, but it basically is one of those like learn to play campaigns, and it ended up the games were really short and not that interesting. So we played a couple of those just to get familiar with the rules, and then we just powered through like the first mission in the game in like a full 1,000-point game and played with everything. And it's kind of a long video because we're figuring out as we go, and that always happens when we're like explaining rules and stuff on camera as well. But I think it's worth watching, so go check it out on his channel. It's gonna be super cool, and you get to see this fleet in action. And then on top of that, if you guys remember Cullen from Mini Wargaming, he was an intern there that I think interned there again this past summer. He has been in town back and forth. He's in film school at Ryerson in Toronto, and he's doing some coursework and some like assignment stuff, and asked to come in and just do some sitting and talking with me, and he did. And that took up like a whole day of my time this week, where we just sat and chatted basically and caught up and stuff. So there's going to be a video of that interview actually in the future. It's only going to go to my Patreon viewers, so Patreon guys, you can see some kind of behind the scenes stuff with me and my family, and just the co-op in general and stuff. Once he's done that assignment, we'll see if he gets an A or not, or if I'm so boring that nobody wants to watch it and it's not very good. But him and his technical crew buddy came in and shot some stuff, and it should be pretty neat. So I hope you guys enjoy that behind the scenes stuff in the future. But that was super time intensive. I spent basically 2 days this week shooting video with Owen, and I literally painted this fleet in one night, and then I realized that I had to get ready for a game that happened today on Saturday that I hadn't even started the army for. So the other thing you're going to see today, the collection of models, they'd been sitting in stripper. I think you saw them in a box last time, and I built them, primed them, airbrushed them, and painted them all in like 6 hours the night before I had to play. So like last night, literally I was up until midnight just finishing this army and getting it on the table. So let's take a look at what I was working on. You can have me quit blathering on and see what I got done. So here is my United Nations Space Command fleet for Halo Space Battles by Spartan Games. And you've got basically 3 types of ship here. You have Paris-class frigates on the UNSC side. Now the Paris-class frigates are your basic line frigate. A lot of the more recent games take place on one of these ships. I painted them through 2 tones of airbrushing, and then some dry brushing, and then just picking out some details. They come in 2 formations. You can take them in arrowhead formation, which ups their firepower but reduces their missiles, and then you can take them in trident formation, which ups their defenses but reduces their firepower. Well, evens out their firepower, really. Then I've got 4 Marathon class, basically the capital ships. Halo 1, the Pillar of Autumn, that would be a Marathon class. That's also, the name Marathon class is an sort of allusion to the first game that Bungie ever made, which was Marathon, an old first-person shooter for like the original Mac, which is still a pretty good stand-up game. It doesn't have the story that Halo does, but it's pretty neat. Now you can build these 2 ways. You can build them supported, in which case you have little extra Paris frigates that you put on the base with them, or unsupported. I'm always going to play with them unsupported probably, because that's the way that you can combine 2 of them. If you take them supported, there's no way to add like another Marathon to them. They become too big basically, and you still have to have a small guy with them. So these are my unsupported ones, and they are just paired up, and they'd be paired up with Paris's later on. Then we have an Epic class carrier, Epoch, so Epic. It's a carrier, which means it spits out fighters and bombers and stuff like that. And it's also pretty brutal, but it actually doesn't pair with these larger battleships. It pairs with the smaller frigates. Its guns can actually combine with the smaller frigates. So what you usually see is it's unsupported, surrounded by a bunch of these little Paris-class guys, where it gets up close and it can brawl pretty brutally with its macro cannons. And that's it. So there is my UNSC fleet. This adds up when you add in your commanders and your Spartan. So like to give you guys some sort of like idea of how good Spartans are in this game. Like if you take elites, you can take as many, you can take up to 4 Covenant elites as like boarding parties that like add to your ships. They're 40 points each, you can have 4 of them. You can only have 1 in your fleet for every 1,000 points of Spartans, and he's 100 points. So he's as many points as like one of these ships. and he just murders stuff. If he gets loose on a Covenant ship, he just creams everything. And that's basically what the humans have going for them. Because compared to the Covenant ships, their ships suck. They're kind of like the orcs. But yeah, with my fleet commander's 100 points and a Spartan's 100 points, this stuff adds up to about 1,000 points. And here's my 500 points of Fallen Realms that I painted last night, because I didn't get it done until last night. So I think you guys saw this stuff all stripped last week, but literally last night I put it on bases, I sanded them, I primed and airbrushed them, and then I think they've all got at least one stage of highlight. Like what I did was basically I airbrushed them all like a dark red brown. I dry brushed them all with a light brown to get all the leather picked out and stuff. Then I painted all the metal, I painted all the skin with like a deep red. I painted all the wood, sort of like a wooden color. And then I just omni-washed everything with Agrex Earthshade. Like even like the black on this guy, it was dry brush gray and then washed. And then I did like a one-stage highlight on most guys. Ceramon and Grima obviously got a little bit more work than that. They probably got like 45 minutes each to get painted. But yeah, not a lot. Like this was a meat and potatoes, get them on the table paint job. But I'm pretty happy with it. It looks pretty good. It had to be repainted though because it was so destroyed. Like I left this army in a Ziploc bag for 5 years. And when they came out, they did not. It's like Mo said in that monkey fight episode, he ain't pretty no more. So yeah, they were not like even close to being able to be put on a table. So I'm probably gonna add to it. I'm looking for bits and pieces. Man, it's hard to get Lord of the Rings figures right now because so many of them got out of production. But like Feral Uruk High, like I'll take them in any condition too. Feral Uruk High, I want the old metal Isengard troll, not the new plastic one, because I really like the look of the old one. And then like metal Warg Riders, old metal Sharku I need, who's the Wolf Rider Chieftain, all the old metal Dunlendings. I have actually like metal armored Dunlendings. I just don't have the ones with bows. I don't have the unarmored ones. I don't have Wolf Guy, the Chieftain one. And then I need to get my hands on Sharky and Worm, which are like the downgraded low-level versions of these guys. And I need to get Alerts, because my Alerts has disappeared. I don't know where he is. I have more stuff somewhere. I have more Sword and Shield boys. I have more crossbows. And I have a Chieftain, like just a regular Chieftain. But there's like big gaps. Oh, and I need metal scouts, the old original Fellowship metal bow scouts and like Sword and Shield scouts. And then I'll have like a viable Isengard army. Because right now all I really have left to paint is more what I have, more crossbows and more Sword and Shield guys, and that one captain. And then I'm kind of capped, so my army's not going to change very much. So get my hands on some Cav, that big troll because he's just so cool, and then some of the other heroes and stuff, and I'll be off to the races. But there it is. There's my current 500 points of Isengard. So there you have it, my on the painting table for the 7th of November, 2015. You saw what I got done. I painted a good chunk of models. I gotta really go through my model collection right now and figure out where I'm at for the year, because I'm starting to lose track. Like I haven't updated, and I feel bad about this. I haven't updated my Keep Me Honest thread on the Guerrilla Miniature Games Hobby Resolutions Facebook group in a while, and I really need to go through and figure out what I've done, because I just painted another, I'm going to count the bases of guys as like one each, but I just painted another 20 to 31 models this week. And like, I don't know what that leaves me at, but I'm pretty sure I'm over 200 to 300 miniatures for the year. I was looking at some of the shelves and realizing that like the Ogre Kingdoms army, the Space Wolf army, the Necron army, and like really that's it. And maybe a few of my Khador miniatures and a couple of my mercenaries, like 1 or 2 miniatures of my mercenaries, weren't painted in the last year. Everything else I painted in the last year. So it's like, I just have shelves, and like I'm kind of freaked out by how much I painted this year. It's been pretty hardcore. So next week is going to be Go Week on Alpha Legion, because obviously we'll be getting in the box sets for Horus Heresy, and I've got to get that Contemptor done, that second Contemptor, so my Talon's almost finished, which would be exciting. And I've got some other bits and pieces to do. My big thing right now is I got to get my stuff done for AD Food Drop. I'm 2 weeks away from AD Food Drop, and those miniatures need to get finished. I've also gotten really cool indie miniatures from a couple different producers. 2 in particular, actually, some fantasy miniatures that are gonna look great for Frostgrave and for these indie games they're making themselves. And I gotta get them done too, because I'm gonna show them off in Widgets and Wonders, but I wanna show them off finished. Because I don't think that showing off in Widgets and Wonders a miniature that's not painted is gonna really impact you guys that well. So I'm gonna paint it, I'm gonna get some nice photos of it. I'm gonna do the Widgets and Wonders, I'm gonna just like go and show 360s of them and stuff. So I think that like, that's a better way of doing that. I haven't really done miniatures themselves. I've done mostly accessories and stuff, and it's okay to just show stuff off like however I get it usually when I get it that way. But for actual miniatures, I think it's important that they're painted. Oh, and I got some awesome gangland miniatures too. Woo! For a cool game called Wild in the Streets, which I'm excited about painting too. So there's gonna be some giving stuff away involved in that one as well, which I'm really excited about. So we'll show you that stuff probably in the next week or two. But until then, stay tuned. This is Ash. Happy gaming.